Hi guys, this is Mitch King with Trade Stocks America on Friday, January 14th, 2011. Markets closed. Just thought I'd go through scalp of the day. This is CIS. Big drop today from 25.60 down to about 23.75. Nice big drop. And look at that big bounce. A lot more than we thought. We've been seeing this a lot this last 3 or 4 days, about one a day, these really big V patterns that don't even break down. Most start rebounding and then they fizzle out with the market, just kind of go on down. But we've had about one or two a day like this, and this was like over a 9% move from that bottom to that top and potential. And you can get most of that, probably about 2/3 of it usually, unless you're really on top of it. Here's the Dow 30 on the end of January 14, 2011 on Friday. Nice move up 0.5%. You can see a higher high. Really nice steady uptrend. We're just going with the flow. Some people say the trend's your friend, but everything is continuing to move up. Nasdaq Composite up 0.75%. A higher high today. Look at a wider view of this, just steadily moving up. No big breaks, and if we do or when we see a big break on the downside, that's usually signaling some sort of a trend change, but we haven't seen a big one. I mean, if we see a real sharp spike on some really substantial news, then I'd say it has a spike down, it rebounds partially, and starts a process of breaking down. But we don't see any evidence of that at all. The only shorts we've been interested in are ones that have been really overpriced and overbought. Of course, bull shorts are one of those examples. S&P 500 also up 0.75% today. Russell 2000 up almost 0.9%, so higher high with the Russell as well. I can't help myself but look at the volatility index, 15.46. It's close to a new low that we haven't seen for years. And the last one we saw this low was that third week of December. T2108, percentage of stocks above the 40-day moving average, 71.4%. Still not excessive yet. It's excessive when we stay in the mid to upper 80s and hold there for maybe as much as a month, which we saw in March and April earlier this year. Really an interesting chart. We see it there. We saw it last time here in September. Dropped all the way down to about 42%, and here we are at 71. So it's not a predictive indicator, but it is something to watch. I find this combination of readings very interesting. I also look for the put-to-call ratio as well. Okay, we got AZO still going flat. You see the indicators starting to turn up, especially the MACD histogram, which is one of the earlier ones you'll see along with the %K, but nothing pointing up yet. You see the signal lines on the MACD not going up. It's not even flattened out yet. So we're watching this closely. Keep a stop loss below this low right in here. That protects you from a real disaster drop. CMG up 2.3%, higher highs. Looking like we're starting to get back on that uptrend. No reason to sell this yet. Netflix starting to act normal again. Apple Computer up 0.8%, all-time new high again today. Joy Global had a higher high today as well. AGCO down 3% after several up days that were quite strong. No concern yet, still in that channel of an uptrend. Getting a little concerned about Visa. Don't want to let this go too much lower, especially below $70 for sure. But let's take a look at MasterCard. It's uptrending, so that kind of gives me a little bit of a reason to hold on and see how Visa starts acting. And here's MasterCard's chart, up 1.5% today. ALR, higher highs, moved up. Nice little head fake. Thought it'd drop down to that 37 number, but here we are, 39.46 at the close, which is a higher high. Here's LRCX Lam Research up 4.5% after closing half of it a couple days ago. And this half we're waiting to see if it made new highs, which it did just make new highs today. So hang in there. It may just continue to move up. It usually does. Not necessarily in a straight line. So you can expect a little bit of pullback after having such a nice run. The gold stocks were closed yesterday on stop losses that were triggered, and you can see the reason why you want to keep that discipline. Big drop today. But don't forget about these. These still can bounce here. If we have another 1 or 2 down days, we should see a good bounce. But you want to follow that discipline where there was no reason to lose money on it, because we got a good price on the entry. Went up $1.50 on this one, maybe 3%. But the key thing is when you have a stop and it trails, you really don't need to lose money if you bought it at, let's say, $50 or so and it went up to 51.5. There's no reason to let it drop all the way down, but that's the discipline we take at least. Suncor moving up here, looking like we're going to add a higher high. Coca-Cola down at 0.4%, still waiting for this thing to get moving again. That short SRX is the stock symbol. Not too much more downside, maybe 23.50. TXI, Texas Industries, not Texas Instruments, still holding this $40.50 level, $40.50 level. DSW starting to make a move up 1.25%. Like to see this hit 38. The rebound in SHZ fizzled out, dropped quite a bit today, down 7.6% at the close. And yesterday it did hit 940, so this is in danger on the long side. That's why we had as aggressive investors. And those swing trades, you're just looking for a quick bounce, and they start acting funny, you're gone. So you guys take care. You know the routine. You put the odds in your favor. Have a great 3-day weekend from stocks. And I believe futures is open on Monday. You guys have a great weekend.